The week,
This
yeah.
is the notification for the week, right?
Uh-huh.
Stop buying car on Facebook. Let me tell you something. Stop buying car on Facebook.
The man say you get robbed.
iPhone. Hey, all come now, man.
Marketplace.
What going on with 5-star? We name 5-star.
You get robbed on the meter.
Oh God, boy. One or two and buy
The man
that.
crying.
Yeah,
Class is in session.
You're late.
You're late.
You're paying, you know, take corner.
You're late.
Corner.
Nah, but that case had me on my feet because these things happening right around us and we don't really.
Ronzy late. Yo, you're truly College Boy Jesse, and we here again for another campus chaos. This is class is in session, where chaos is the curriculum, and I'm here again with my classmates, Tommy Sanchez to the right, 47 Ronzy. I have Anderson Harry on my far left, and we have a special guest with us tonight. This is Tamar, the super talented Tamar. Although we hear a little more about Tamar, and right now we were kind of talking off air about a lot of things that happened in the past couple weeks. We want to continue that conversation. I think Ronzy had a catch up on what's happening, and what was on top of the topic is the case with Diddy boy.
Yeah, madness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I super invested. That's my leisure time. Get home.
Yeah.
Get home and take in the case.
Yeah, Diddy and as I was mentioning too, I have been a great fan of this guy, his career through entertainment, his career as a businessman, as a young entertainer too. Everybody, like we want to be like Diddy, bro. We want to make it in the music and we want to start investing in products and start doing things, because that to me was kind of like the example now. That was our representation and our example as being a black man too.
Nah, the man
Because
brilliant.
yeah, he genius.
Yeah, he is.
But it's very unfortunate to see and learn of so much of the things that happens behind the scenes. You know, we always had the kind of ideas, but to kind of hear of it and see it come to the forefront now, it kind of
crazy, but just see that them thing going on right around us, and we own industry too.
But sometimes we think it's rumors and sometimes we're not really sure. But they see when it come out as facts, boy.
If you have a secret and you keep it in a small circle, it will never come out. You understand what I'm saying? Things like that happening around us and around the world in so many different industries, we can't imagine.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
That freak off syndrome, that?
You never know.
What?
You mean everybody like Vice?
Harry, like you want to be in that, boy.
Vice is nice.
Everybody have some kind of little vice or something that they have under the table or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? But that case had me on my toes, because we used to hear about it, the Illuminati and all them things, but you're seeing what the Illuminati it really is now, you know? Taking away your moral and your value, taking away your voice as a human being to allow somebody else to take control over you for what? Money? Sure. For fame? Sure. I was never a fan of that. And I still not, and I know all I know that. I just leave them things behind quick.
So what is the subject of this class? Is this law? Are we heading down the direction of law? I don't know, but it have some, like, we were mentioning that too, in terms of somebody could be quite guilty, boy. But with the skill of your legal team, you could come off. And straying from this Diddy situation, we facing something similar to this right here in Trinidad that happened the past couple of days too, with the wife of Stalin and the photographer. I can't remember his name right now, but she was sued $360,000.
Back at the class, so he too.
For
you understand what I'm
the
saying?
use of
Outside the class.
the legendary Stalin's image to promote his tribute event. Yeah, the photographer took her to court and it's $360,000. Now she has to pay. Now she's trying to defend it. And now we have so much views from, varied views from people from the country. Creatives, photographers, people in media, everybody have their view on it and who right and who wrong. And it's just something for us to learn, because from a moral standpoint, I find that he real off now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Black
understand what I'm
Stalin
saying?
too, you know, the history that he added to the culture, you understand what I'm saying? And the woman being, you know, her age and just wanting to use that image to promote him as well. I could understand the whole intellectual property and copyright and, you know, the dancers, the videographers, the cameramen trying to really stamp down and gain the money, the work worth.
Right.
You understand? But at the end of the day, some things you need to have a little moral and compass, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the law with this, Ronzy? In regards to make sure Ronzy, yeah. Who really write here legally?
Yeah. We see.
Again, I second everybody. It was just wrong, Jack. Who don't love Black Stalin?
Yeah.
Come on. So when we talking about photographers and the copyright law with respect to their work, according to AI, copyright law protects photographers' creative work, giving them exclusive rights to control how their photos are being used and distributed. But I real bacchanal too.
So my question is, right?
Okay, talk.
Jesse was mentioning earlier. You snap a picture of me,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And that's me in the picture.
Yeah.
I don't want to write then, so
Exactly. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Here was my question in the whole thing, right? Why is the photographer even taking a picture of this person? Because that person have value. So the reason why this picture is a picture of any significance is because the person who is in the picture, that image has value. So that value, in the case of a marriage, in my sense, or in this situation here, that widow is entitled to everything her husband had.
Yeah.
So she's
Yes,
entitled to
yeah.
the value of that picture that is given that picture value. It is his image. So if it's anybody that's supposed to have use of the picture,
It's-
besides the
it's-
photographer, is the person in the image.
back at the class with the judge.
But the
too.
law saying
I know what
the photographer own that.
every law could be amended.
The judge
So,
actually
which
ruled.
means, you see why I have to be president of this place? I will be changing that.
You understand?
yeah. Certain things we had to touch up a little bit.
Because-
just check
I'll say one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
This photographer, right? I mean, it have different kind of photography in my mind. If all this help me out here, right?
Right.
It have a fella who says he's a photographer. He working for National Geographic.
Right.
He in the bush. He out there for weeks. He trying to get a picture of a bird
Right.
doing something that nobody never captured before.
Right.
And he captured it.
Right.
To me, that is where that law, because he do so. But when you taking a picture of an artist on stage and you just happen to snap at the right time,
That is a skill too, yeah? You can't tell them that. You cannot
But yeah,
tell them
why-
that.
I know, but I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day,
Right.
to me, this,
Because it's a person. So the subject is where the issue is.
right,
If the subject is, well, a thing, then it's a different situation from if the subject is a person.
because the person in the image is giving the picture value.
So that is where the law should be amended.
That is my say.
But also when we do read the article, right? He said that when he went to copyright that picture, Stalin was with him.
So the picture was copyrighted.
Yeah, he copyrighted the picture with Stalin's approval.
Oh, shit.
Well,
Right.
Well, she
now
on that
the
jam, you
table
know.
turn here right now.
He on that pressure.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
Ken.
there.
And then too,
Yeah, can standpoint from
Yeah, well, I
Media
mean,
representation.
I just hear the laptop now, boys. I just bring it in.
yeah.
Yeah, let's fax the rules. So, all right, I think I got the name of the guy. I think this guy is Marcel,
right.
and that's the name of the photographer.
Mm-hmm.
So it was something captured in 2011.
Yes.
And there are a couple of things to add into the equation. One is that he attempted to have dialogue first,
Right.
and he was turned down. I think that was a major
Turned.
component in the judgment.
Yes.
Fair.
So based on and just building on what was just said, now I didn't see the part where he went with Stalin initially, but it would seem as though he was attempting to follow the correct way.
Yes.
Go to the artist, go to the estate, even though the artist is not around. Say, hey, you're using my picture. That's one. And then two, my understanding of it is that the picture would have, just as you're saying, it's not just like, all right, it's not like a picture, you just pull it off your camera now. He would have edited it almost to the point where it's like a painting. You saw the picture? Yeah, so the picture is like heavily, it reminds me of like, this photographer, Jermaine Hamilton, back in the days, he used to over-edit now, boy. So it's almost
Like art.
Yeah, it's almost like art now. I mean, I would say photography, videography is art in general,
Right.
but he would have put, just as you're saying, extra work into it
A Mona Lisa.
to make it a thing. And
So
a
the
good example
exact
locally
image
is
was used?
Laura. Yes, the exact image was used, and in its form.
Right.
And there was another local example. There's a photographer called Laura Ferreira, and she was really known for like doing a lot of like heavy editing. Because the thing is, what happens is, so like Jermaine Hamilton, Laura Ferreira, and actually I Kenna, right? All
Right.
of these people are like graphic artists by profession.
Right.
So when they started doing the edits, something like in the beginning, their edits were always very different because their approach would be very different now. It'll come, let's say it'll be a bit more out of this world.
Right.
Because to the point where, like, I remember when I would have showed, so like, you all, just bear with me, right? But back in my modeling days, right? TBT, right? Jermaine will have taken some pictures of me, right? So
Yeah.
I would have shown like my then boss, right? So I used to work in a website called Trini Pulse. That was like the competitor to Trini Scene at the time.
Right.
So I showed my boss, I real excited because Trini Pulse used to like send photographers out to do photos and thing now. So I was like, look, just do a photo shoot, young Ken excited and thing. I say, hey. But the man born all the pictures, but he said that no photography, boy. That's right now he painting there. He said there's some art there, that's art piece, that's artwork. That's what he let me know. So you're really coming into a different space because let's flip the script. If it wasn't a photo and it was painted, my question to the panel is, what would you all say to that? So let's say same situation. I sit down, let's say Tommy check me, I paint a picture of Tommy, take my time and paint it or whatever the case is. It's a nice painting. The painting going up in value for whatever reason. The painting, I decide the painting with 300,000.
That is a different judgment,
So.
To me, that is a whole different case.
Yeah, but
That is a
I
different-
feel like where the immorality come from is the mere fact that this was for the man's memorial. That is why I feel like I feeling like a personal vendetta against the photographer because if it is that you saying that you went with Black Stalin to do your copyright, the man dead memory, that should be part of it. You understand? You shouldn't have a problem with that. It's not like somebody taking it and putting it in an art gallery.
Or this, selling,
Or getting money off of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's where I feel like it have a little off. Now I do understand on the other hand, because I'm very big on copyright as well, that he have the right for that. Now hearing that he went and copyrighted it and all of that. He does have his right for that, but I felt as though, yes, you reach out, you understand, maybe the wife of Black Stalin felt as though it was a ridiculous request and did not feel like responding, although she should have, just to say, communicate her feelings. But at the end of the day, I feel as though this was the man memorial. Like, I feel like she have a right to it in a sense. Not legally, but in a sense. You know what I mean? Yeah, morally.
Yeah, no, I have one other comment on it, which is no, I don't know if the amount was really set by the photographer, because based on my little layperson experience, right, with the courts and stuff, what would usually happen is, let's say I want to take John to court, I would approach the lawyers. I'll say I want to take John to court. I would say, I feel like the value of my thing is $20,000, right?
Yeah.
Now remember, the lawyer's trying to get paid too.
Of course.
Right? So then I'm going to say 20. All right. Here, we know how much to call.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you give us the information, we will handle it. And then I would just trust the lawyers to handle the case.
And
that is my lay person's understanding of how it usually runs. So it's not usually like, I come and say.
No. Yeah, that value built by the case. Yeah,
I'm looking for
lawyers.
300,000. They would tell, it's the other way around. They're telling me, it don't make sense you go and ask for 20, bro. So that's something that I have seen actually happen. So again, I'm not saying the photographer is right, but it may also be a situation where the photographer probably just looking for a cut in the proceeds, because my understanding, it was a memorial.
A tribute event, yeah.
Yeah, like a event, basically a money-making thing.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel as though, I don't know if it made money or not. I'm not too sure.
Right.
So probably he was just saying, if it make $10,
You want a cut because they use my picture to
my
promote
It has
the
some
event.
feelings in
I
it.
still don't like
cut
that.
my $2.
I still have a
that
problem
have
with that.
feelings in it.
I still have a problem.
No, agreed, because they could argue that he should just do it for free, but I mean,
Yeah,
it's very
it has
different.
feelings in it. I feel like what we didn't see is the issue. And what we don't know is the main issue, not the information that is in the media, but how the wife of Black Stalin responded to him. Remember, when somebody get emotional, that whole different ball game, you know. You understand what I'm saying? That being extremely emotional is what will, take away the moral. Because if me and you in a bacchanal, and I find you talking to me too loud, I always just say, like that, you know. Like we going down tiny, lie down.
Yeah. As,
You understand? Yeah, so not even too loud, maybe the way she responded, as if, so it's
Yeah,
part of
man,
the
yeah,
things
man.
that-
You know them things that's good. I mean, that's her husband.
Yeah.
He died. That's his image. So she might feel like she have rights to that now.
Correct.
And
So-
he reach out and she find, hey.
Yeah, because I feel like if a conversation was hard and it was like, well, bro, I ain't have no money, we just looking to raise a little funds to make sure we do this or whatever might be the case. I feel like nobody, not that wicked to say, don't use that image of your own late
But I-
husband.
So my
I-
question to Tamar, just before you start, Jesse,
Yeah.
is Tamar, so what would you do? So if you were the photographer, that your thing, what would you do?
Well, as I just mentioned, I would have probably reached out, yes. Firstly, I feel like my moral is go a whole different level, so I wouldn't have reached out in the first place. Like, I feel like, okay, using this image, like Black Stalin, it's not like you're using it for a gallery or to promote something for soca or calypso, nothing like that. This is the wife of the man. I can't mind my business and say that I ain't going to take nothing away from me if she just use the image. She ain't making $1 from the image itself.
I agree.
But if it is that it do come to a place, for example, let's say I do have ties with somebody where it comes to the copyright of the image, and we agree as a team to reach out and ask how we're going on, I feel like that's where it could get sticky, because if I feel like I'm talking to you and you don't even want to hear my side of it, then I might get a little agitated.
Because my second question was, what would you do in that situation if you get disrespected?
No, that's it. That's why I feel like there's feelings involved. Because
You
if
feel
it
like the
is-
photographer was disrespected?
Yeah, if it is that the photographer felt like his feelings was hurt because of his intellectual property, because
He trying to work with them.
Correct. If I put something out there, like my brand, BAAD, if it is that I come to you, you print my BAAD logo on something just right? And I come to you and I let you know, well, here what's going on. You do this once, it's unacceptable, and you are saying, hey, that logo, I could just post that anyway.
Bootleg. I'm on bootleg.
Yeah, I'm on bootleg. Yeah, I don't care about that.
Chinese.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I could do that however. No, I might come out my pocket out a little dimes and sue you. Because now I'm feeling like it's not about the money anymore.
No, correct.
It's
taking
about
my vibes.
disrespectful. So that's why I mentioned it had to have some kind of emotion. I don't feel like no one man that low in terms of,
It's hard to understand.
yeah,
It could be
I
so
don't
low.
feel it have something that happened in between there that is unsaid, and I feel like we should just
We don't know about it.
Yeah, so Jesse, I know you was going to come in, but when you come in,
Yeah.
I also wanted to touch on J-Lo.
Right. Yeah, boy. That J-Lo situation is similar.
she gonna win that case.
J-Lo was sued also for posting a picture of herself that was taken by paparazzi.
Because the world follows trend. I just let you know. We just set the
The
trend
world
down here.
follows us.
We set
No,
the
this
trends.
J-Lo situation, I saw this like literally a few hours after this Black Stalin situation. So it happened in the same day. And I was like, what? Very good. The world really following trend. Yeah. So yeah, J-Lo was sued for using her own image. No, there's the thing. This is what I don't understand, and this is where now, this is where now we have to amend the law in some type of way, where, because this is why you ever see how Kanye and his family and them is moving paparazzi, because you had a, because they have value for your own picture, bro. Them will run you down, hide in tree, take a picture of you and go and sell that picture now and make money.
It should-
off of
Michael
you. You
Jackson
can
had a
you can
child
be like right for that.
blank, the name the child blanket
No.
because the man.
It should be like writer and producer 50-50. Publishing is publishing, writer and
Yeah,
producer
because-
50-50. Because it's me.
Yeah, when it comes to that now, it's like invasion of privacy. It's like even some of them going against the law and adding value by breaking the law too. and then could take your money by posting something for breaking the law because you invading my privacy. Take a picture of me, and you could sell that image, and then I can even take that picture that you take from me.
Right.
You could sue me for that same picture.
That ain't making sense to me.
All right, so of course I have to now come with the with the additional info.
yeah.
And honestly, I go in, it's really feelings, you know.
It's feelings.
Because
feelings,
according to the
feelings.
internet,
Them photographers
They- no,
broke.
he-
They're looking for all the...
No.
Yeah, it's
All right,
broke.
come
They're
on.
broke and they're looking for all the...
Stop there.
Don't do them that.
I can't blame them then.
Feelings will come into play yet. Our photographers in this room, you know. You get fight, you know.
I've been invited for a little dinner by me. You see me, bro? Right? Cool. Anyway, so what I wanted to say was, right, that I agree with what Tamar was saying earlier because according to this article, there was some dialogue
Right.
and there was a promise to pay.
Okay.
Yes. So he
Okay.
also told the news outlet that the both parties had fruitful discussions in the weeks after the photos were posted. And Lopez's team orally agreed to a monetary settlement. So as far as he's concerned, he said, all right,
get any
we
money.
charge whatever it is.
Don't post
They're
nothing
good,
again.
we good to go however. And then again,
Right.
time passing,
Well, in that
nothing
case,
going
in
on.
that case,
and
yeah,
he feel like when
if
you
it
take him
is-
for idiot.
If it is he
I
have
feel the, I feel the
if he
thing
had
boss
that in
way. I feel the
text,
thing boss and they couldn't pay way.
if he had that in text,
If he had it, well,
if he has it in text,
In writing.
because obviously word for word it will be his word against theirs.
no,
Yeah.
well, right. So my understanding, again, this is layman's understanding, is that in order for the lawsuit to actually hold water and for it to like reach where they could serve JLo,
Right.
it would have to have some level of evidence.
Right.
Yeah, it will have to. They'll have to present
That's why I said-
some level of evidence. So they wouldn't just be like, "Yeah, she never pay me," and then you're like, "All right, like you just serve JLo and boom it in the news."
Yeah.
It'll have to have some legitimate thing to argue.
If there's
Right.
no evidence, then she wins that case easily. But in that case, if there's like some sort of transcripts where it was texted, or I don't think it would be a contract. It probably was more so verbal or versus via text or email. Because if there was a contract, then it would be no doubt
Right.
that she gonna get lost the case. But
All right, noted. I'm not sure.
if it is that she just pulled the pictures from online, that is the open web.
So just keep eyeing on it.
That's the open web.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, with that understanding, with that understanding, there need to be some sort of, written agreement.
From all of this, we had to learn the hard way. And because of what's happening here now, people like myself, now we could pay attention to, what is the law and how we actually could make better decisions in
But just
our
it was that
content.
time artists
and-
wasn't even getting the rights.
Well, that's usual thing. So we had to really
So
pay attention
photographers want to get the rights now.
in detail for creatives, their rights, our rights, whoever in charge, the law behind things that we're doing. Because sometimes as creatives, we just do things for doing things sake. We just do it because we like it, we love it, and we don't really pay attention to the details of these things now. And I think this case kind of like opening our eyes now, and I hope that everybody kind of, do like myself and us and really learn from it moving forward. We introduced Tamar earlier on, and I introduced her as this super talented Tamar, and I feel like, just like myself, Tamar have a background in sports.
Yeah.
She played national football too, and she's also now an entrepreneur, and she's within entertainment and the creative sector. As a designer, she always making sure that our
Top up.
yeah. Tamar stuff bad. It bad.
Literally.
Literally.
we spoke about Met Gala a couple episodes over before, but I know this is your field, but as a young entrepreneur, I want you to chat a little bit about, your startup, sometime or your inspiration behind what you actually do. Because sometimes people would see things, and especially young people like us, and we might feel things so far-fetched and, nah boy, we can't do this, or, but like, the reality of it, the reality of accomplishing, things within your field.
Well, I will start with, because I feel this is very important, that I had no clue what I was going to get into in terms of where my career would have led me. And most youths now, they feel as though They need to know. They're looking ahead at the designers, artists, and whatever, and believe with all they had that that's something that they knew and was so sure about for all their life. I started off playing football, and I could have swear that would have been me, pro. With my mentality, I was heading pro. End up getting into a car accident that it forbid me from playing. It took me years, like literally it's been 16 years and I'm still nurturing certain injuries that, still needs ironing out. I eventually got into events because I needed some way to make money. And I will be honest, like I had brickhouse events, but I hated going to other events. I don't know if Ken was part of the whole era of all the promoters
Have
saying,
to go with everybody event.
Yeah.
I promote
yeah, correct.
Yeah, Flyers and Tuesday and things.
That's
Yeah,
2017.
Yeah, I was around that
Correct.
time.
And I used to be the one that all the promoters used to bad talk because
Except me, by the way.
yeah, that's what I said. I don't know if he was part of that. I didn't really care.
I would just go because I would be like, yeah, Tamar. Because I also think I don't believe in one size fits all now. But go ahead, finish.
Yeah.
I go come
So
in
the promoters used to be like, yeah, should I ever want to come to nobody event? But truthfully, right, I'm a person that's follow my heart and my spirit.
Right.
So within myself, I used to feel like a certain level of joy because I'm bringing a community together within my event.
Yeah.
But I never enjoyed outside like that. And I was not the type of person who liked to party.
Street business.
Street
business,
I could come out and I have all the people that I could pull together in one event. Yes, I did this is something. So I'm enjoying my creation.
Right.
Versus the event itself now.
Right.
So I didn't understand that at the time where my creativity was. I didn't understand. I literally didn't understand that I wasn't being selfish. I wasn't like just not going to these people events. I used to feel kind of bad. I used to feel like, wait, but every time it's for me to get dressed and go somebody else's event, I used to feel like a dark spirit just used to just cover me. And I started to feel tired. I would walk in somebody's event and I just started to yawn. It's like my energy wasn't lit there now. I did it for a while. Yeah, I did it for a while and I wake up one morning and I remember that morning, I spoke to my cousin for almost the entire day, the day before, and I was like, I'm going to quit events. And I just wake up the morning and just put a post on social media and say, look, I'm done with events. Wow. This is not something that I enjoy anymore, blah, blah, blah. Out of the blue. I had just keep one of my biggest turnout in events.
Right.
That was lit.
Lit was the name of the event?
Yeah, Lit was the name of the event. All white, New Year's Day.
Wow.
That was one of my bigger events and it was the biggest I've ever had. You understand? And I just wake up and I was like, you know what? This is not me. I'm not feeling this vibe, right? Did it. Everybody was in my DM or whatever. I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I literally don't know what I'm doing right now. So from then, in the whole interim of Brick House and Brick House events, Brick House Authentic Apparel Designs BAAD was a part of the thing.
I never know it. Brick House
Authentic Apparel Designs. That was supposed to be the brand of the brand, of the events.
Right.
So with everything I do, and I like to do it holistically.
Yeah.
So Brick House is still my host company. I could
Right.
put anything under Brick House. I also had Brick House Youth Football Academy, for those who know that I did coaching.
Right.
I had Brick House balloons. I used to decorate events. I did a number of different things, and people know me for different things. As besides playing football for the national team, this book long, eh?
Yeah.
And BAAD now, I have always liked fashion. But I never feel comfortable dressing how I like to dress now. As a weird dresser. So while everybody in a short pants and a top or in a jeans and a thing, I like to layer. I like to put things over things. I like to wear things that nobody ain't wearing yet. I like the bulkier, unusual stuff. I feel like where fashion is now is something that I have felt in my heart long before. I don't know if those who follow BAAD at all, I am always pre-time with collections. When I drop something, it's usually before it's time. So I would drop a collection or I'd come up with a design a year before, and then you would see that the next year is when everybody start wearing it. And it's not something that, like I do research and go and find, it's just some in me, like just
inspiration to
just
foresee.
looking
Forecast
overall
what's
at
gonna happen.
fashion and
Yeah.
forecast. Like I believe I'm a projector. I believe that I take in information very well and I'm able to then project it for somebody to see. So that is my general talent. That's why I'm good at managing and marketing and stuff like that. I could take an artist and I could say, this is what you need, this is what you don't need, this is what you're doing wrong, this is what you're doing right, just by being around them for a little time. And then I would be able to say, all right, this is the projection of what it is you need to do and what you need to be in order to get to that point. And it happens naturally. Like, it's nothing for me to do that. Hence, I guess, when I started working the brand, right, a lot of people started becoming interested in it. Until we had the Killer and the Rebel, Swanny, dancehall had now started to bubble.
Trinidad,
and obviously my brand was that type of rebellion brand, you know, fashion and music goes hand in hand. Especially that whole hip-hop rap culture, it goes hand in hand. Well, that has long extended because Afro and Afro soca and all these things up in the air right about now, which is amazing because music really and truly is something that we should not have like a label on. Boy. Like, you should be able to mix genres and create magic. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Shut it down, Ronzy. Shut it down.
I just always say that too much lines in this thing.
I don't
The
believe
people-
in lines.
BAAD. Continue.
BAAD is the culture of BAAD is a representation of me directly. Most of my collections, people don't know, like, we will drop regular things that will say BAAD on the jersey and stuff like that. But if I do a collection, for example, that collection, the angelic collection, it all comes behind that whole angelic realm, that whole purity. And that's the stage of my life that I felt I was entering, a place where I felt peace, where I felt more like I have a white cape, versus times before where I felt like I was a rebel. I wanted to do things dark, fire, you know, them kind of stuff. So it is a representation, but people don't really know that. But in terms of like the brand itself, the catchphrase of the brand is a rebellion, you know. It is, BAAD is a good representation of the creatives in the world that feels as though they are not allowed to create freely, and there are lines that will hold them into place. We just break them barriers.
I am bad.
Yeah. So that's what people do
I am
get.
bad.
That's what people do get. And I've been wanting to do, like, I even set up a place in my store to do podcasts and stuff because people have been saying, yo, T, come and share your story. People need to know the behind the scenes of the brand and what it means. There's so much passion in it. And I always got to a point where I'm ready yet.
All I need to see the space though. Like real.
Yeah.
The showroom.
Yeah.
Bad store. The showroom is like.
And I
No, my
haven't
guy
even
thing.
launched it because I still feel like I have more things.
Where's the store?
It's in Marabella, opposite the police station on the main road. It is not even just a store.
But
Like
that my
Mona's?
thing. No.
Yeah, right next to buildings.
Yeah, the point I want to make, right?
Yeah.
What differentiates for me, what differentiates the BAAD brand, and I don't want to, I'm not really belittling anybody else's brand, right?
We don't do that.
But for what I've seen with the BAAD brand and what it represented in terms of the quality, it is, how to explain it, boy?
Bad.
It just bad now, boy. It top notch. No, seriously, top notch quality wise.
Yeah.
Like everybody who see my hats on and be like, bro, they don't even expect it because we have this perception that local stuff is a certain. We have this perception local thing ain't good. It's like Chinese, that type of product.
Have our next
No.
to wear.
Chinese thing is good thing
You
for
could
Global.
Huh?
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
No, I just say, like,
no.
I have a catchphrase that we not fucking local. And not because I'm not patriotic to Trinidad and Tobago.
Right.
Not because I don't love my country. It's this is where I was built, I was bred, and if it wasn't for Trinidad and Tobago, like, there would be no me. But at the end of the day, there's nothing local about BAAD.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, the perception of what local
Balenciaga,
represents.
Off-White. You
Yeah.
think America just call it, yeah, that local.
Yeah.
Where we get that from? That's not even a thing, bro.
Exactly.
Oh.
That's not even
Exactly.
local is not even a thing. So
Exactly.
like when I find brands saying like #1 local, like I just
Certain. That's a certain man talk, right?
no, sorry. Let me scratch that. Because I don't think I know the brand and I don't think it's that. Like I feel as though like don't
You do have to mention it.
and don't belittle your
Yes.
brand
Yes.
to that level.
Yes.
So
Yes,
for example,
because that's it.
a certain brand, I wouldn't mention it yet because I actually go into to Paris in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we had to push this up. To engage in some business.
Mm-hmm.
And I spoke to a brand owner there that told me that the designer world is something so far-fetched that it's a whole different ballgame. In my head, I was like mind blown because there's no part of me think that that's a whole different ballgame. It's just hurdles and ladders to that point. We might want to reach to this final destination immediately, and that's something that I master. I know that I have to jump these hurdles before I get to that point. But am I putting things in place right now to be in that position? Yes. When everybody was spending money on buying and stocking new brands and have new collections coming out all the time, I was building a foundation. And when we said that, when I was mentioning earlier that my store is not just a store, it's a creative space. There's a studio in there. Mm-hmm. There's a room that we're going to have, like a photography room, a creative room. There's a print office, you understand, where I'm eventually going to add a couple of sewing machines that we could do production from in there. It mightn't be as large, but let's see what the Chinese work out of. 10 by 10 box spaces. 50 of them in there sweating. You understand what I'm saying?
But you got to organize this for sure.
Well, yeah, we go garden here, see?
Yeah.
You understand? When I open the window, you could see the police station, it's safe, breeze coming in, yeah. But it is an entire collaboration of different companies that is going to elevate that one brand to the level.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Even BAAD Records. I have a bunch of 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds under me, and we just...
Front of the class.
we pulling out of the whole dancehall Trinidad era. Yeah, Trinidad, but we adding the next A. You understand what I'm saying? Trinidad, but we adding the next A, and that next A represents the creatives that do not feel compelled to follow in the footsteps of those that came before them, but create new and be different. We don't have to go down that gunman road, and we don't know that music. To be honest, I sell all my artists. I was like, that gets you to this point regionally, and you goes nowhere after that. International don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
They do not want to hear that. So what is your goal? Do you have a regional goal or international goal? If it's regional, we don't accept small mind. We don't accept local.
Just to interject, Tamar, you brought one of your artists, I think it's MGM Kuhn, right?
Yes.
He played 3 of his songs, and I told him, I say, yo, you are one of the very few that I can put your music on my Spotify playlist because I ain't hear
He do curse.
nothing that I don't relate to.
Yeah.
He sings about come and get the money.
Yeah.
You understand? Things that we want, you know, go and get your goals. He said in one of his songs, he said he rather chase the money than lie down in the ground.
Yeah.
See them kind of thing?
And I could
Playlist.
tell
Pin
you
that song, anything here. We had a pin that song.
For sure.
real thing, he in there, and he probably hearing, right? There was a point in time. I had him since he was going to be 16, right? And I saw it in him from then. Now his sound, different level. For a 19-year-old, he sit down and make a song in 2 minutes without writing.
Wow.
He could do 10 songs. Just, I don't know how did this do it. It's just a
Gift,
thing.
boy, gift.
Right? And there was a
gift,
point
gift,
in time, we in Reach FNOs, there's a point in time that the whole Trinidad era was swinging and everybody feel like they had to get a boss by being a part of a gang or singing a certain
Gunman thing.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
He sent my video. He said, Jude, all them boys on the block, well, let's call me Jew in the music world, right? All them boys on the block, really like this song here thing. I want to put it out. I say, nah, leave out that. Not the right time for that. 2 days after, boom, video online. I called him and say, "Yeah, what's going on?" I said, "This arrangements between me and you, it is now cancelled. When you are ready to get back to the program, let me know." He continued doing his thing for a year, and then he come back to me. And since then, every move that we make strategically, he just keep elevating and elevating. Now, I would tell that boys, these core things that I said to him years ago and say, "Look at this." And I either pause raising, look at that. He's quoting to me and I just be like, I don't even have to worry about the younger artists who following in your footsteps. I don't have to give them the same information because I know I train one. You understand what I'm saying?
Teach one, yeah.
And he could sit down and sing badness and flow or whatever. I say, I don't mind you drop a little badness in there, but you can't be singing it like I'm going for them. I running on the block. If you want to sing a little thing and you want to speak about your culture and where you grow from, yeah, I carry my piece with me all the time. That I'm a protection. Like we sing along them lines, even though I don't even care for that. You understand what I'm saying? If you feel like, the youths and them kind of had this mentality, but you had to be the one to lead them out of that. You understand? Yeah, so the whole program me come from, that's why I say my moral different. A lot of people don't power with me, and I wouldn't say I don't care because I feel like my purpose in life is to help people, to influence people differently than the norm. But the only way for me I learned along the way that the only way for me to influence people differently is to really set the example. And that might take me 10, 20 years for them to watch me and say, I know she from since. And she stand that ground. You understand? And I also learned within just studying and being more spiritual and being in tune with, myself and my soul, that as I say, I'm a projector. I feel like I'm a projector. Sometimes I want to give information too quickly. People see and be attracted to it, and that's when they willingly would want to accept that information. Really? But even BAAD records, everything is one big pinnacle rock. It's not separated in no way, and in the eyes of many, it seems like she's doing so many different things. But it's one end goal. It's one big end goal. Yeah. You understand?
So tell me this now, Diddy inspire in any kind of way?
I go be honest.
I'll show you off there.
You ain't show me off. I will be honest, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it is, I started doing music.
Yeah.
From since when Swanny came to me and asked me to be manager, I feel like any dancehall artist that bust prominently besides K-Man, I had a touch.
Yeah.
Internationally.
Definitely. Yeah.
Any you could call any name.
Yeah.
And once, I feel like they call me the golden hands. Once they pass through me, it's a bus.
Cool, yeah.
You understand? Once they listening. Once they listen. When they don't listen, there's end up in other problems. But I feel as though I used to consider myself a Diddy. Because I feel Diddy was that glue. Or is that, well, I don't know if it's is or was. Or,
yeah.
I feel like he was that glue in the industry that tied everything together.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
He held that influence, and he was sort of the industry manager.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate how some of the things that he did to keep that stature.
Yeah.
I hope I do not ever feel as though I will never put myself in those compromising positions or feel like I could put other people in that position ever. I feel like I'm a fair person, but I ain't gonna lie, like his methods used to be studied.
Yes.
Yeah.
So but it's so ironic how BAAD has so much good vibes in it, eh?
No, it is.
Well, I mean, locally too, the term has been,
that bad.
That real bad. When we say that real bad, it means it's a positive thing.
Yeah.
Bad is
bad
no
good.
a positive
it's
thing.
a bad good.
Yeah.
You understand?
So that was what, business class? Now like what we were swinging into,
But I have some flowers to give to Jess.
Release the mic now.
I'll be short long. Tamar, I'm so glad that you came to the podcast. I've been following your story since the accident, I would say.
Fair.
And you have always shown, back in the day, your progress. I remember vividly when you posted your injuries. Well, yeah, your injuries, and then a little bit of your therapy, getting back on your feet and stuff like that. So I know you from back then, right? To see your growth from back then to now, from the accident, you're catching it back yourself. I think you were showing that you was going back to football. I'm like, this girl is crazy. Because I could only imagine that car, if I'll ever see the pictures of that car, dog is by God's grace.
Only his.
You telling me?
Only his. I
And-
feel like I was. They take me out and put me back in for sure.
Wow.
For sure.
Yeah,
That's what I
and
tell.
when she started the Brick House events, I've been to quite a few. Dog, she downplaying them events. I mean, events was fire. I've been
Yeah,
there.
it used to be some nice thing.
Yeah. And the brand itself, BAAD, into her signing new artists, you are on an incredible journey. I would
I appreciate
always encourage you. God is using you in a particular
appreciate
way
it. I think so,
for
for
these
sure.
youths and them.
It's a heavy weight.
It's heavy. But what I learned this week is those that are flying, a lot more weight is added to you for you to take off. Right? Don't thief my thing, eh? You understand? Don't thief my
on the
thing.
back of my jersey.
Stolen.
Right? Yeah, right?
New collection. On
So yeah, we need pioneers like you, especially women in the music industry.
For real, boy.
You understand? A lot of, well, I mean, I don't sign already, but for sure, if you did come,
Yeah,
me sign.
all of we still had to live, you know. So at the end of the day, anything that I could do to help.
For sure, yeah. So I just giving you flowers on your journey. Keep doing it. It will have hard days, but as you're doing, you know you're conquering and you're doing your thing. So
Appreciate
all the
it.
best to you, sis.
Yeah, man.
you.
Definitely inspiring.
Front of the class, man.
Yeah. Front of the class. And we running back into as we are talking about the music and the message in the music. This week, our minister was restricting Vybz Kartel's. Yeah. As we are approaching the Vybz Kartel show, you know, his lyrics for some of the music, as was mentioned by the minister, and the vulgarity or whatever it is, they were trying to restrict that also. For the Vybz Kartel show, that Vybz Kartel show too, he too was also restricted from interviews. I believe the latest update was that he could now do two interviews.
He get two.
Right?
Ooh.
Now, there's concerns there, you know, with that whole case. Our minister, he have legal background as a lawyer, whatever, too, right? But in terms of my take is this: Vybz Kartel is out and is free. He is free. Let me say that again. Vybz Kartel is free.
No, but
Who would have thought?
quick question. He coming to perform in a Sweet 16, no?
That's what I said.
Had to be a-
Vybz Kartel is free. He's not singing in a 16. It's not a funeral. It's not a gospel
not
show.
crusade, it's not crusade.
Yeah. Vybz Kartel is free. He is coming to Trinidad and Tobago to perform. We've been waiting for 13 years. Now, regardless of whatever is illegalities or whatever it is, he free. So which means he innocent. Right? So from my standpoint, he should not be treated as a criminal. Do not criminalize a man who is free. He's coming here, he should be like any free person, free to do as he pleased. And this is my take. And again, it falling back to emotions, you know.
Yeah.
It had to be a personal thing with emotions.
It's a power play.
Okay.
What it is that
Definitely.
there's a new government. There's a bunch of controversy around the election, right? He's now given a certain responsibility to, you know, do better than the last. Stand his ground. It is a power play to show that I am doing something, but you're being counterproductive, because at the end of the day, Vybz Kartel mood
Yeah.
since he's been out of
It's a
prison
different man.
is upliftment for the youth.
Inspiration.
It's positive.
He keeps
It's
speaking
It's an
on
inspiration.
not leave the guns, go for the money.
Every country the man land in.
It's
look at
only
that.
on
Every country the
positive.
man land
Look
in.
at the
It's-
songs
God is
that
the
he
greatest.
that he sing after he come out. Girl tunes,
on.
gospels.
It's better now than ever.
You
So
understand?
of all
The man
times, he
is-
should not be penalized.
So, and it had not. I honestly don't believe that Vybz
Have
Kartel.
a song
Shades real
with
body.
the pum pum better than Jesus or something.
No, but I pump.
That's poetry. That's poetry. That's being
No, the
creative.
reason why I say this is because that is the song that the minister.
He said, he
don't
find
want-
it have some kind of religious.
Right.
I
connotation.
can't even reach on Cartel set, but why you telling me what, man?
That too small.
The amount of songs
But he don't say the girl
Cartel
follow him like
about 6
Jesus.
concerts.
He don't let me know the girl will follow him like Jesus.
I think
They ain't banned that one.
that was one of the
From
worst
the man.
decisions I ever see. I don't repost much on my page.
Yeah.
I repost that. Because
Yeah.
I was like, this is one of the most dunce thing I ever see happen in ever. Because you want that kind of impact. Furthermore, have a conversation with Kartel. Have a conversation with Kartel and let Kartel know. Right? Listen, that vibes where you're bringing, as somebody mentioned, the outer touch, that vibes we're bringing, instead of cancel the shows, how you come and let the youths at Trinidad who in Trinidad and thing? No. But this man
Them
buy
done
a
shit.
cyber
Or they invest all their
Jeep,
money.
Yeah,
a G-Wagon,
yeah, correct.
and 2 houses in the last 2 months.
No, correct.
Be for real.
Right now, he's one of the most influential person
In the world. And most
when
loved.
when the article
Right
dropped,
way.
day before, Cartel and GQ. Why you telling this?
The man is one of the most loved man in the world. Like, there are people who weren't fans of Vybz Kartel previously
I
before
want to
prison
be
and who are now
real.
fans because of personality.
I
So,
was
like,
never
come
a
on,
big
man.
Vybz Kartel fan. I know I have friends who crucify me, right? But personally, I like music. I am a more soft listening type of person in terms of music that
Like R&B and
people,
thing.
yeah, people wouldn't think that I just listen, right? I like dancehall because it's cultural and it songs a little bit of Afro. I'm a big fan of Afro. I
Right.
like the bunks. It makes me feel happy. But other
Right.
than that, I'm an R&B type person. People wouldn't believe my playlist. I just go, them coming up, you're listening to rare and them kind of thing, right? So I have always like.
What's wrong? I think
Yeah.
Michael.
I've always like Movado
Right.
way of yes.
Anyway.
my father was more smooth
I
in the
find
delivery.
Kartel
man.
was,
melodies.
Yeah, I find Kartel was too vulgar and brash, if I could call it. And Movado used to just that little tight tongue give me that sweetness in the music now.
I know you're right.
Chill,
The boy never
Yeah.
listen.
Chill,
Any
chill.
other one name him still
Kavana.
don't.
Yeah, you tight up. You tight up.
Like, next one.
Give up. People will crucify me for that because I feel like Kartel is loved all wrong. But let me tell you what I like about Kartel now. Kartel touched the business side of me. He come out and him and his team has been driving his music career in a business-like manner in a way that I haven't seen marketing since marketing was marketing.
Street man.
You understand? He marketing the hell out of that, and I admire that. I admire how he make a change, how he using everything positive to be something that could elevate him. And then you really, and now I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Kartel,
fan.
you will be our guest on our next podcast.
Yeah, my brother.
We wanna hear from you.
He say, all right, we just have to go by the hotel. Since he can't go places now.
Yeah,
No,
we
but
have to go and
I
set up.
believe it all my heart he would do it.
Yeah.
Now you go do it. You
I
go do it for
believe
sure.
he
See what
would do
Jesse
it.
said before, how you free.
Let him know can they.
They have a system in place, a court system or whatever. The man went through the system, he come out, he is free. The
Free
system
boy.
that all they put in place to judge people with murder and thief or whatever, he went through the
free.
system, he is out
But
free
all right,
because
so
he
why
is
it
free.
is the drop down Kartel and Chronic Law come in? You ever hear Chronic Law music? Be for real. Mali done come in.
Yeah.
He just sing real rotted girl thing.
Raw.
Influence.
So why did
Lava.
you choose Kartel?
Because of the influence.
Be for real. Bob the Bill
Bob David.
Look,
No,
next
wait.
that's what said they did too.
Don't do me that now. Don't do me that.
It's a
Don't do me
power
that.
thing.
move. It's a power
Harry,
move, and
Harry.
it was the dumbest move
I
ever.
realize.
Dexter,
Yeah.
that's raw.
He just want the government to
She
go in
like Dexter.
parliament.
Don't fight Dexter. Don't
Yeah,
fight
I want to
Dexter.
go in
too.
cabinet and say, we stop Kartel from going certain show. But it's a clown. That's clown thing.
Be alone. Welcome to the planet Trinidad.
Is Barclays he performing on Madison Square? One of them I think-
Barclays,
Sold out
Barclays,
two
Barclays.
nights.
Sold out 2
Back
nights.
to back.
Back to back. Like Drake.
Come on.
No, like
Come
for
on.
real. No,
The man is
like-
what? The man
No, it's like actually
probably one of the
Yeah.
most
crazy.
influential right now.
Yeah, come on.
That is
I'm playing
crazy.
devil's advocate here now.
All right,
Oh,
come
God,
with the
oh,
devil's
God.
advocate. Let me hear.
Oh gosh.
I like devil.
Yeah.
I will
You're not
respond
saying
after,
all,
so I
but
will
you're not
give
saying
you a chance
The
to
all.
reason why I say this because I was reading that one of the reasons why the minister give is that the police resources. Now, I remember when Popcorn went to some African country, and wherever Popcorn go, it was like a security problem. The army had to come out and friggin' move. Yeah.
Well, the army don't be doing nothing,
You
but I
understand?
bring them up.
So, if it's on that line, so imagine Cartel going on the beat, Andre. You understand? Or Cartel going somewhere, the whole place.
But,
so
alright,
maybe they have a point
Cartel
as far
was
as...
Protecting him
Never.
and protecting the crate.
Yeah, and-
Bro,
But Cartel would never.
It's
I'm
not
like,
so
that's
wild.
not
The man came a couple the man was here a couple months ago.
And he didn't do none of that.
All right,
We
so
was up
Jesse-
in Vice with the man, no
Yeah.
normal.
No, correct.
It was a love.
would never.
It was no wildness.
Hey,
He
if
would
you
never.
check there, Vice still there, no? Vice still in the same place. But here what going on?
I'm
Today?
just saying.
The
maybe-
fight in
maybe-
the art.
No,
I'm
yeah,
just
what's going
saying,
on?
maybe-
Here what going on, right? So Carter was in one of his interviews. They were asking him, he has this very popular Brooklyn anthem. Where he calls a couple specific places from Brooklyn. So they ask him, say, so you went to all them places, or Carter let him know straight up.
We don't deal with them
He
things.
going back.
Carter said, nah, he said that was a particular time in his life.
Yeah.
So Carter not even going on the beat, is my point. I'm
Yeah,
making.
yeah,
That's what I
yeah,
said,
yeah.
we would never.
In a different place.
I don't
Yeah.
have to talk to him or
He
know
not on that.
anybody personal around him. You could tell from his aura, the man is not partaking in anything of his sort. He's not even doing it in Jamaica. Why would he come to Trinidad?
Don't
and
the
do it?
man move out of Jamaica? The man say,
Man did say it's the promoter that take it upon himself to
Yeah, it's a
give you itinerary
Yeah.
to go
Yeah.
in this to meet community
and as
leader
a
and all kind
public
of things.
relations person, I like to point out, artists, this is how to do your PR.
Right.
A lot of times, artists like to hide behind press releases and press a button, come out,
And see.
talk to us as the people, and also do it in a very straightforward manner. I think in Trinidad and Tobago, as a let's say as a patron, as a listener of the music, I want to hear from you.
Right.
And it could be anything. It could be your thing cancel, it didn't happen. I just want to hear because remember you human too, and you're now humanizing the issue.
Yeah.
You see when you're just boom, big up Adana. Hey, call Adana. Say, Adana.
Write up something there.
Write something for me there. Let's put it out. I read it,
Yeah.
and I see in circumstances beyond our control.
Right.
I'm fed up saying it now, boy. If you get what I'm saying, but
Yeah,
that
yeah.
not really endeared me to you. And I feel as though another challenge that we face, and I would want to encourage us to move away from that, is where Cartel would have called out the promoter, but not
Yeah.
in a disrespectful way.
Yeah, yeah.
He'll just say do better.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still didn't disrespect the government
Correct.
of the country.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's
Very
a good
respectful, yeah.
example. In Trinidad and Tobago, locally, we have to be able to call out other people, but do it in such a way where you're not
Respectfully.
disrespectful
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
You are Anderson to pull up his socks. Anderson, you come out a little
Civil.
late there, boy, but
I
there's a love
am-
still. If you get where I'm coming
Yeah,
from.
yeah. You
I
don't want to be,
feel
you don't want to be hard and
Yeah,
fast.
correct.
and
You don't
that
want
kind of
to dishonest and thing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Course out
No,
now.
but Cartel is corporate, be for real. That man come out and is completely corporate again.
Nah, for sure.
He's nothing.
From the time I see the GQ, I say, all right, we
Nah,
rich.
boy,
No,
the
because
man-
on GQ, I accustomed to
The
see a
man is
basketball
a
player
real,
Yeah.
like,
who in F1.
Yeah. The man
Cartel?
come out and
I
doing
did
it
go on.
corporate and give props to his management. I can't
TJ.
remember. Yeah, TJ.
TJ,
and
yeah.
was the next
Best
one
friend.
who's Scatter, who is doing
Scatter,
events?
yeah.
I believe he's
Scatter
behind
Burrell.
a lot of the events and
Correct,
stuff like that.
correct,
And he's very professional. He's do Dream Weekend, right? In Jamaica. And yeah, he's a big boy. Cartel team he is not going to stop. He dropped
Yeah.
his tour dates recently. And Trinidad, really and truly, be for real.
Yeah.
I want to go
And I want to bring in another dimension, right? Now, we have to understand in Trinidad and Tobago, on the radio station, we play mostly dancehall in urban stations, which are the most popular stations. So, for the past 20 years, one of the most played artists in our local radio stations is Cartel.
yeah. Yeah,
I am
without
letting
that
you
out.
guys know I was attending Hillview College as a student.
Yeah.
I had a grey Nokia.
And yeah, the Cartel.
Here what going on? No, here what going on, right? So for 2 years, my ringtone was no dirty panty. Cool, right? So I leave Hillview, I go on Custard, right? I get a new phone. My ringtone was dirty wine for next 2 years. No, I just showing you how long the man running it
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
If you
yeah.
understand? So that,
Yeah.
so to me, that come like my life.
That's
Me,
your
I'm telling
life.
you.
Yeah.
I tell you, I'm
Yeah.
in secondary school now.
Yeah.
I read in my garden. This was a garden long so.
Yeah.
You understand where I'm coming from? And it's Cartel ringing off there.
Yeah.
What you telling yourself?
Yeah.
You understand where I'm coming from?
He has been a pinnacle in dancehall, and honestly, I feel like the decision that they made was bare ego and power,
He
and
did-
the fail.
No, correct. They had to watch it like You have to think like this is our Barney and friends. Think about it like that. This is like you injuring our childhood. No, that's why he's trying to show you. You injured my childhood because as a listener, not a practitioner, as a listener of the music, as someone who is participating, you're attending events, a lot of your memories will be linked to the music.
Yeah,
Right.
Sure.
So to me personally, Kartel really have to sing it. The big man thing.
They will sing out this song.
And this is what I want to say to her. Personally, at some point in my lifetime, I want to host a show with Kartel and tell Kartel do sing. Big man thing.
He wouldn't have to.
Host.
Bro, he did that. He did that in
Introduce.
Vice, bro.
Introduce.
So
Honestly,
he was
do
holding
the
back
thing.
so much
Just relax.
for the show that in Vice, the man was a comedian, dog.
No, he is a comedian. You could
Everybody
tell.
had the phones
You
out
could
and
tell.
the man didn't sing. The man was just talking to the
No, you
people
could
and
tell.
everybody
You
was
could
just
tell.
entertained.
He is just
The man
he's
is
an
a comedian.
entertainer.
And for real, that will be a great thing. He don't need to sing nothing.
No crack, don't
Just
sing.
presence and
Don't
just
sing.
vibe.
Yeah,
Don't
but
sing.
we have Kartel going
Bring
right
DJ,
now.
bring DJ Crumb.
Being too sure you could pay for that. No,
Better
Ken,
let-
because
Nah, you.
that man price.
He
I
up
feel
there
like
right
that
now.
man price going up
No,
by
man,
show.
After he dropped that
That's
Khaled,
show.
that song with Khaled and
That's why
you bring it up on the
honestly
podcast.
feel like they make a misinformed decision because I don't think the officer going to sit down and listen to Kartel. You know, it's probably something he hear from somebody about this song and that kind of thing, and they make a judgment of that now.
But he
has a
he has
attorney.
a human being. Right through you were busting up that Kartel all in the bedroom with the wife if you want.
I just feel like-
Kartel.
Not against the government or anything, but I just feel like Trinidad dropped the ball again when I watch our Prime Minister like Ralph Gonzalez and St. Vincent.
Yeah,
Had
yeah.
Carter
Meet the
still up
man.
next to him.
Yeah.
And basically saying, talk
And the
to
Guyanese president, Guyanese president, they use it as a positive,
You
yeah.
understand? Using the influence of the man
To help the
talk
youth
to
and
you.
them, yeah.
Because you're dealing with crime.
Yeah.
So this was
He's
a
good
this was a
example.
And
ball
he's
drop for
certainly
me.
Opportunity, yeah.
the tone.
Opportunity,
Yeah, he's
right?
certainly
Where they could have
Cartel
used
was out there when
Cartel
Obama was
to deal with crime,
you had
to
that
talk to the youth and not committing the crime. So they dropped the ball for me.
Yeah.
Nah, they
yeah,
did drop
yeah.
the ball.
I tell you. One Gaza nation. I keep saying it. And even now, just see something I learned 2 days ago when the bacchanal start with Sturge. Yeah, I can call it by your last name because you don't know. Right? If all you use ChatGPT and ask AI to show you in global form how does one Gaza nation look in global form? I am telling you, you are going to see something that will blow your mind. This man influences so dread
Nah, it's really
that
good.
it will
Claxon
show
out there.
you the
Yeah,
globe.
really good.
Yeah.
All those who claim one Gaza nation for the teacher. And big Ronzy face is right there down you understand? Just bring the man that
Nah,
way.
the man influences crazy.
What?
Let me close
The
up a
man-
little bit with that. I was talking influence. I want to talk about relationship now with Kartel and his. Is his fiance or wife? His
Fiancé.
wife now,
Fiancé.
fiance,
Nah, they married,
wife
yeah.
to be, right?
Yeah.
One burner.
One bird.
It is
Not
very
too-
interesting that the level of, how to say it, boy, faith she had, the situation of being in a relationship with a man who is in prison and for life, they say,
Hey, she
right?
love that man long time.
See them, not see them.
But she's not the only one. There are plenty
see
people
them,
out
not see
there
them.
The kind
in
of
relationship with people who lock up.
No,
So-
she like he before she before he got locked
I
up.
understand that, but I am trying to get into the psyche of
See them wait.
women who in the free world managing relationships
With men in prison.
with men who you may not ever see or really
So now we have to ask
and,
to see them
and
talking
legally
about what's
married
going on.
and thing that. That is the part that I do understand. So I trying to gain.
See them was able to see them.
No, I agree with what Tim was saying. No. I think it has more to do with vision, man.
Yeah.
Vision, eh?
Yeah,
She
and
she
faith.
she
Vision
stick
and
by
faith.
that man,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I believe she had.
Yeah.
Why the reason why
Jesse
Kartel
come.
is so loyal now? She had a lot to do with him getting released as well, you know.
Yeah,
I
of
believe
course,
that,
of
you know.
course, of course, of course.
She do
yeah.
real groundwork.
Yeah, I
to
guess
make
she had
sure,
the
you know.
legal team and
You
she
understand?
doing the work. Yeah.
She looking like she spent some little dust out.
Yeah,
Take
yeah.
the dust and use it to, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, no, I want to build on that too, you know, because, you know, I think when in a relationship, right, it's like 2 ways to go. You could be like, all right, well, you handle your stories and you go check them back. Or you could say, Let us handle these stories together.
Yeah, correct.
So you could be in a bad place, you could be in a low place.
Yeah.
You understand where I'm coming from? And then you
I
can,
like that topic.
if it is you see the potential, and
Right.
I ain't talking about potential like what Lady Lava say, and you know, you getting dog right 2 years, you getting dog, eh? Because here I would say,
Lava is the queen of the freaks.
I always say the proof is in the pudding. So you have to see some, and you could use Carter as an example. You would see some level of resilience because he's not the first artist to get locked up. However, comparatively, he's still putting out music and he's still pushing the envelope.
Also, what I believe with Cartel,
They're missing you.
Cartel also possessed a level of confidence in his release as well, you know. I feel as though we watch these kind of artists and believe that the dance, you know, Cartel brilliant, you know.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
When I say brilliant, I mean
Even
like
more brilliant
genius.
now.
yeah, he
Rotabo.
is brilliant. Just listen to how he speaks. He moved from being Gaza to being very eloquent. And
More
at the
brilliant.
end of the day, like, he would have had some part to say and see them, yeah, we're going on, you know, see them. Cartel, if he come out, you know. You understand?
Do it for do.
Like what you're doing, you know, see
Do
them.
it for do.
But he's a spiritual person too.
Come on.
Yeah, he's a spiritual
sure.
person.
See the man top 10 things he can live without. The first thing is the Bible. innit?
No, for sure.
First thing.
Nah, but to be in jail for that long and don't believe in God is something might be wrong. That come like I get an accident and live through that and I still don't believe in God.
Yeah, bro.
You understand?
Is the universe that savior?
Sure.
It has some people realize.
Is the colours and the numbers?
I just mingle with the universe too. Eh? That's next up. I just mingle heavy with the universe too because to me I believe it's one thing.
Not for you.
That's a topic for a different
But
thing.
nah, but that's serious. So for the ladies outside, I would call them super loyal. Well, I can't say loyal because really and truly, the man inside, he ain't really doing nothing.
Yeah.
For women who in relationships with men who incarcerated, like,
How do you do it?
he ain't really going on you.
How you so
Unless you on
You
there with
mean
that
like
man
that man in
inside
there?
How you so
Yeah.
sure?
But like, I mean, it's a very interesting situation. I see something on, you know, the 90 days fiance, whatever it is. Some
90
kinda-
day fiance. That's a
Right.
topic.
I see our next
I
one
know that,
with
I
this
know that.
character who he's finally getting to meet his fiance. She's coming to the US. He's American. She's from the Ukraine. They're in a 5-year relationship virtually.
They never see each other.
Never see each other, right? So he sent her 40,000 USD within the space of the 5 years. He bought the ring, of course. So he's finally getting to meet her, whatever it is. So he now in the hotel room waiting for her and he calling her. Doc, she didn't answer any calls. He buy presents, he real excited. And this man is seriously believing that this blonde
It's coming.
Ukraine woman is coming to
He
see
get
him.
catfish.
Yeah,
He get dread. He get
Dread
dread.
catfish.
And he seriously like believe.
No, but who it was,
Yeah.
boy?
I have a-
Just
I have a
say,
similar-
I just watch
that
that
I
show.
see that on
man,
social
man.
media.
That 90 day
level of
fiance is a
narcissism,
scene.
dread.
Is a scene. That
that
show is
level
a
of
scene.
narcissism is crazy, bro.
Yeah, like that
That is
catfish thing too.
crazy, bro.
Like, I
At
don't
what
know,
point you
boy.
just feel like, oh God, boy.
From the first time I tried to call your FaceTime and I realized you're ducking, I feeling like nah, something off here. Like
Yeah,
they
well,
do
we
go
in
through that for years.
Caribbean, we
And you
traumatized.
sending money.
You see,
Send
Caribbean
40,000.
people,
You sending money.
Caribbean people traumatized from birth, eh?
I'll send all the link.
As you
We
in
will add
answer
the link
that
to the
FaceTime,
90 day fiance is a thing to
It's,
talk about, Jed.
goodbye.
It's a cycle.
You're not getting my
Yeah, but it's a reality that we live, you know, today with relationships. A lot of people, like, there was this character too who is married to a doll. And he would go and shop for the doll. No, it's real things. So
No,
we
no,
living
it's
in a
real.
strange time
I-
where people finding companionship
You want to add to
in
this?
anything.
Yeah.
I think me and your phone on the same algorithm.
My partner had 2 men minding him for my fake profile on Facebook back in the day, you know. He posing as a woman and 2 men minding him, you know. So my next
Well, it's criminal boy. It's
Don't mind
criminal
him
boy.
proper, you know.
Like,
I can
He's a
understand that that
woman.
was going on 10 years ago when the internet
Criminal,
now
yeah.
come about.
He's a woman.
But the
with
internet out here a little while now.
nah,
But
that's some
it's
skill.
still
Nah,
a-
no, that's some skill fellas out here. boy.
No. It have people
Nigeria?
who just need.
It's a people who are
Companionship, boy.
Nigeria famous for that, eh?
Still coming
Jamaica
up, you know.
too.
We live in a strange time and people seeking Ah, wow. So,
We are living in a strange.
where are we? Is this the end of our class, guys? Is this it? Or are we
think
on
so.
time?
Bell ring.
Now wait, time gone.
So yeah, man. We are again. This is the class.
Notification for the week, just.
Notification for the week.
This
yeah.
was the notification for the week, right?
Uh-huh.
Stop buying car on Facebook. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Stop buying car on Facebook.
The man say you get
Phone and
robbed.
iPhone.
Hey, all that, come now, man.
Marketplace.
What going on with 5-star? We name 5-star.
You get robbed on the meter.
Oh God, boy, what they
Stack,
doing?
stack.
The man crying.
Yeah, nah.
Stack.
Yeah, nah, the bunks me.
No.
The bunks me from behind.
Watch my mouth that bleeding. Like you was sucking
Some
out.
five stars.
Oi, for the,
Look like you're sucking us out.
Social media, man, boy.
It have other
You gonna know
areas.
your face for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it have.
He
Dog,
went to
The
that's
buy a
smart.
car and get robbed on the beat. Why are you
Basically.
going on the beat to buy a car?
No, but anyhow.
Why?
Stop.
Do you know the individuals you're buying, the purchasing
Yes.
from?
God, boy.
You can't sell me nothing to me.
He said you went in licensing. Yeah, see, sorry, when you're doing live and thing, you went in licensing, he never really went to meet nobody thing is licensing, and when he leave, he didn't get through ever. And when he leave, somebody bunks him from behind and back and down and he get robbed and he crying and thing.
bunks. I don't understand.
So,
that.
I mean, it's very unfortunate. We hope that you get back your money.
He went live.
Be for real, Jesse.
Ronzy, he went live.
To cry,
before
yeah.
he
You
called
could
the
get
police, you know.
catfish too, or what?
Yeah, we open for the best.
There's
You
nothing
went live before
Just
you
say
call
he
Right
went
the
now,
police.
though.
before he
Yeah.
called the
There's
police,
a
you know.
full
But that's why I
party
see,
up
I
there.
see it like.
I'm gonna put myself
Marco
on
Polo,
now.
Marco Polo now sell 10 Jordans.
Class done.
20.
Before he called the police, he went live.
He went live.
Yeah, he went live.
Live before.
Well,
All right, guys. We here again. This is Campus Chaos. Class was in session, and chaos is always the curriculum. We here at the home of champions. This is 47 Productions, and of course, Collabr brought us together. Make sure and download the app, right? The Collabr app. Check us out next time. This is my classmates here: 47 Ronzy, Tommy, Sanchez, Anderson, Harry. We have the super talented Tamar.
Bad.
KenSambury.com, always the Empire team. We down on the beach. This weekend, we go and have a great time. Empire Beach Line.
Come so.
Link up. Right? You don't know. And we was here. Big up yourself, Raya. Big up the entire team.
Good vibes.
Love you all always. My name is College Boy Jesse. Till next time.
I didn't think
And we out.